Welcome to Married to His Will. I'm Suzette Williams, your host, a licensed professional counselor in Georgia and nationally certified. Whether this is your first time or you've been with me for a while, I'm truly grateful you're here. This podcast is a space for inspiration, healing, and truth, where faith meets real life. I love weaving in clinical insights along with personal stories to encourage and uplift you on your journey with God. If you're new, be sure to check out Season 1, Episode 1, where I share my testimony. It's a powerful reminder that God doesn't just want to save you from hell, He wants to see you thrive in Him. Since walking through my divorce, I've discovered a deeper understanding of who I am and who I'm becoming in Christ. And yes, to my future husband, if you're listening, may you find me right where God has positioned me, in His presence. I'm so excited for what's ahead, and I'm thankful for every listener who's joined me on this journey, and for those who are just getting started. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this blesses you, and check out the description for updates or extra info. Let's dive into today's episode. I pray it blesses you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Married to His Will. I'm so happy you have joined me another time. And it's been a while since I've spoken to you, so I cannot wait to dive in and give you an update of things that have been happening in my life. Today, I'm talking about a topic that is dear to me because it's really about my own personal story. So I just came through a very, I would say, challenging month emotionally. It's the month of May, and it has felt like very, very, very long. I don't know. I think the Lord is taking me through a transformation of the heart. He is working on me to change me or just to make me transform me into what he wants me or who he wants me to become. And he will do that. And sometimes, obviously, he'll do it without notice. He's not going to tell you what he's about to do at times. And so you find yourself just going through it. And I've had a lot of attacks on my heart, and I've had to reevaluate myself and consider who I am. And in considering who I am and evaluating, I have come to terms and accepted some of the things that God has spoken to me. I have accepted, well, all of what he's saying to me, but more so, I've accepted the things that I've had to let go, the people I've had to let go, and the people I'm holding on to. I've accepted my roles, the role that he's given me in this world, the purpose that he's put, the assignments that he's put in my hands. I'm coming into acceptance of those things, embracing my mature position and just what I need to be in this world. I'm embracing motherhood. I'm embracing singlehood. I'm embracing all the hoods. That sounded weird. But yes, here I am embracing who I am. And lately I find that when the enemy comes in to attack, it's easy to want to defend yourself and yeah, just defend yourself because he's just coming to attack. So, what happens when you're attacked? Your natural response is to defend. And so the Lord is teaching me that He fights my battles and He's giving me strategy and wisdom on how to handle the things that come up. And all the little things that have crept up to the surface is because He is causing me to manage a lot of things before I dive into another relationship or just before I meet the one He has for me. And so I'm excited. I feel like I'm embracing the process, even though sometimes I'm telling God, let this process be over because I'm tired of processes, if that's a word, right? Sometimes I'm just really exhausted, but it's been a very emotional journey. And so today, the topic I've chosen is He was what I wanted, not what I deserved. He was what I wanted, not what I deserved. So I want to get into it. So, Harry, welcome back as we get real about love, loss, and growth, and everything in between. If I didn't tell you my name, I am Suzette Williams. If you're just starting to listen to me, I welcome you and I thank you for being here. Thank you for all the people that have been with me from the beginning and have been following me, to my past guests and those who will join me in the future. I'm grateful for you. And hopefully, someone will join me here and we can chat it up and have a wonderful episode soon. But so far, I'm continuing to share with you my journey. So let's talk about it. The illusion of what we want, right? Let's start with desire. When we want someone, it can feel like fate, right? Maybe he made you laugh. I know for me that happened last time. Maybe he challenged you. Maybe being with him felt like you finally found something you didn't even know you were missing. But sometimes what we want isn't aligned with what we need or what we deserve. Wanting someone doesn't make them right for you. You know that? Chemistry isn't compatibility, and attention isn't the same as love. Sometimes we can confuse the two. Attention is not the same as love. I have discovered that. And I mean, I knew that to some extent, but when you experience it, you really get it. Attention does not equate to love. So when you think about it, reflect on it. Did he reflect your worth? Or did you shrink yourself to be enough for him? Were you chasing connection or avoiding abandonment? Sometimes we're doing both. We're avoiding abandonment. We don't want to be alone. That's the fear, right? We don't want to be alone. Here's a quote. He was the spark I thought I needed, not the fire that would keep me warm. It was just a spark. It really wasn't the real thing. So think about it. The illusion of what we want is not always what we deserve. It's just desire. And number two, why we settle for less than we deserve. Why do we do that? We settle for less than we deserve. Why do we chase people who aren't ready, aren't kind, or aren't capable? Sometimes it's because we don't yet believe we deserve more. We accept we accept the love we think we're worthy of. And if deep down we carry wounds from childhood, past relationships, rejection, these wounds whisper, this is as good as it gets. Let me tell you, I fought with those thoughts. This is probably the best you'll have. Because what's better than this? I mean, it's better than my ex, right? So then this must be the right thing. It's so bad. It's so good. We laugh a lot. There's so much to reason with, right? But it's not. It's not as good as it gets. So look for those red flags we do ignore at times. Inconsistency can be disguised as mystery. There's some mystery there you want to find out. It makes you curious. Hot and cold behavior we call passion. Oh, it's such passion. Lack of effort we excuse as emotional unavailability. Oh my God, that's so easy to do. So don't ignore these red flags. Inconsistency disguised as mystery. Hot and cold behavior we call passion. Lack of effort we excuse as emotional unavailability. We don't want to ignore those red flags, but we sometimes do. Number three, the turning point from longing to learning. The most powerful shift we can make is from asking why didn't he love me to why didn't I love myself enough to walk away sooner? Why am I wasting my time? Why didn't I love myself enough to walk away sooner? That's the question. So instead of asking, why didn't he love me? Because it's so easy to ask that because we think people should just love us, right? Like, man, I'm so lovable. So good, I deserve love. Well, how come he couldn't love me? And we start to question ourselves in a bad way. But really, why didn't I love myself enough to walk away when I knew it wasn't everything I desired or what was good for me? It's not about blame, it's about reclaiming your power. So, what does healing look like? letting go of potential and seeing the reality. Let me tell you, I have had to see the reality. And it was not easy to let go of what was potential to accept what was reality. Saying goodbye to the version of you who begged for scraps. Okay, I'm not going to settle for scraps anymore because I've learned. I've moved from longing to learning, from desire to understanding my real need. Realizing you don't need to earn love. What does healing look like? You don't need to earn love. Real love is given freely, like God gives to you. I'm going to repeat this again. What healing looks like? It looks like letting go of potential and seeing the reality. Saying goodbye to the version of you who begged for scraps. Realizing you don't need to earn love. Real love is given freely. So think of a moment you ignored your gut around this person. You ignored your gut feelings around him. Ask yourself, what would I feel or what would I tell my younger self in this moment or in that moment? What would you have told yourself, your younger self in that moment when you ignored your gut feeling around him? What would you tell your younger self? So far, I've talked about the illusion of what we want, right? Where we start with desire. Like when we want someone, we have that, we think it's fate, right? This gravity pull towards this person. Maybe they make us laugh and all of those things. And so we're pulled towards them. It's important that we reflect on our worth and whether we were chasing a connection or really avoiding abandonment. And think about number two, why we settle for less than we deserve. And I talked about the red flags, the inconsistency disguised as mystery, hot and cold behavior we call passion, lack of effort we excuse as emotional unavailability. And then number three, the turning point from longing to learning. We can ask ourselves, why didn't I love myself enough to walk away sooner instead of why didn't he love me? So shift from that thought. And I talked about what healing looks like so far, right? Healing looks like letting go of potential and seeing the reality, saying goodbye to the version of you who begged for scraps, and realizing you don't need to earn love, but real love is given freely. Number four, let's talk about what you do deserve. What do you deserve? You deserve reciprocity. Ah, how many of you out there are waiting for him to tell you what you want to hear? Or because you've been saying it for a long time, or you feel it and you know it, but they're not telling you what you really know you deserve to hear. Or just not just to hear, but you know truly you want it for it to come from his heart. You deserve reciprocity. You deserve safety, kindness, effort, communication, growth. You deserve someone who doesn't just say you matter, but shows it consistently. They're not just telling you you matter, but that they show it consistently. I have to repeat these things to you so you get it, because I had to repeat it to myself. So, yes, I had to let go of the person who made me laugh, made me happy. I thought that it was going to, go the extra mile, but I realized there was no reciprocity, no consistency as far as the things that were valuable to me in the relationship. Not just laughter is great, right? We can live on that, but we can't live our whole lives on that, right? You need love. You need to be shown this person has to love you, right? And obviously they may love someone else, but they didn't love me. So I had to choose based on the fact that there was not reciprocity. It wasn't on the same level. And maybe one time there was, but then things change and there's no security. I'm like, I'm not flip-flopping so much. It's time to move on. And so if you're in a place where you're grieving someone, you know, who felt right, I had to go through grief and letting go. I really have had to, and I feel there are times when the wave of grief may still come over me, but I feel I'm in a really much better place since I've let go. So if you're in a place where you're grieving someone who felt right but treated you wrong, I want you to know you're not alone. And this isn't the end of your story. It's the start of your rising. You're allowed to miss him and still know you're better off. You're allowed to mourn the dream and still move toward something real. If this episode spoke to you, listen, I'd love to hear from you. If you feel like you want to share your story with me, maybe you had to let go of someone recently because you found it wasn't beneficial, it wasn't good for you, because maybe your values didn't align, there was no reciprocity. You thought it was what you desired, but it was not what you deserved. You realized it wasn't what you deserved. Let's talk about it. I'm excited for the journey ahead. I'm excited for how God keeps leading my life because I pray all the time that He only gives me His very best for me. So, why should I worry about what I've let go of when I know my Father owns everything and the world that is in it? Okay, He owns the world, He owns everything in it, even the people. Okay, so He knows exactly who He's made for me that would be a right fit. And so I am not worried. In fact, I've been looking at that word content. I don't think I've mastered feeling contentment in singleness. I don't think I'm content to be single because I don't want to be single, truthfully. That's just how I am. But I mean, I do enjoy it. At times, I'm enjoying myself being alone, making decisions on my own. There are many times I'm enjoying that, but there's sometimes I really don't enjoy it at all. Like, I want partnership. That's my longing. That's my desire. God knows it. He told me that He had that for me. So that's created a deeper desire for me to be married. And God bless those who are content in singleness. And God wants that whatever state we find ourselves, that we are content. But I think I've had to pull on being more content in God than anything else. That's where my contentment lies, in God, because my security is in Him. But I don't always feel content in my singleness, that as if that's where I want to be. I don't want to be there. So I'm very honest with myself that my contentment is really in God, and it's in Him that I move. It's in Him that I live and I have my being. So when I'm frustrated, when I'm sad, when I'm lonely, where do I find my contentment? In God. I may not find it yet in single life because I'm adjusting and I still don't love it. Because of all the responsibilities I carry, I'd rather have a partnership, right? To carry my household and all the things I do. I would love to have a partnership. And so I'm trusting God for the one He has for me. But if you are content in your singleness, I am so happy for you. I salute you. And I'm learning every day to trust God in this journey as I learn. I do find that I'm becoming stronger in who I am. I know who I am in Christ. So now that the enemy has been attacking my heart and my emotions, not just through this a relationship I've had to end, but just the little things that's been coming up, whether it be in my family or with people on my worship team. It's just everywhere. It's just been hitting me left, right, and center. And so I know when the enemy's on the attack, and I just realize more than ever that my weapon has to be prayer. It has to be spiritually dealt with, not really with, it's definitely not a flesh and blood thing. I realize that the attack is coming from nothing but the enemy, and the Lord has allowed it so I could grow deeper in Him. So I will seek His face. So if the Lord is telling you to let go of a potential that He's saying, it's not enough. It's not what I gave you. Because what God is sending you is going to be adequate. You don't have to question so much if that's the person, if that's it. I think there's going to be this knowing on the inside. And so I'm looking forward to that. And with that said, I just hope that no matter how hard this process has been for you, you may be stuck in your singleness and you don't know what else to do. You don't know if you should be dating. You don't know if you should be going on a dating app. I've tried everything. I've tried the dating app. It just hasn't worked for me. I mean, it's worked in that I've had dates, but I realize it just has created a world of chaos for me, and so it's not what I want to do anymore. And so I'm just staying still until he tells me to do something else. So in the meantime, I'm just waiting for him to come to me. And that has happened. I've heard that, that people come when you least expect it. So I'm just going about my father's business right now. I'm doing this podcast. I'm taking care of my children. I'm diving into helping them become independent in life. I'm focusing on my business as an entrepreneur, as a therapist. I'm really trying to launch my workshops. I've been doing workshops for veterans, but I'm trying to expand and do other workshops for you. And so I'll tell you more as they come up, but I plan to be doing weekly workshops and inviting you to them because I want to talk about things like these, divorce, relationships, all the things that we deal with in life that are difficult. So join me as I launch into new endeavors, launch out so that I can also build myself financially, continue to do that. And so today, I just ask that you continue to trust in Him. As I talked about this topic, He was what I wanted, not what I deserved. God has the very thing that you deserve. So just hang a little longer, trusting a little more, have a little faith. He's going to come through for you. You won't be stuck for too long. Hold on, your change is coming. Just stay married to His will. God bless you. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Married to His Will. Whether you're in a season of clarity or confusion, joy or surrender, I want to remind you choosing to align with His will isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Every step of obedience, every moment of trust is shaping you for something greater than you can imagine. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey today. If this episode spoke to your heart, take a moment to share it with someone who might need the reminder they're not walking alone. Until next time, keep leaning in, keep showing up, and keep saying yes to the journey, even when it doesn't make sense. Because when you're married to His will, you're anchored in something eternal. Stay faithful, stay expectant, and I'll see you next time.